Did you know that every possible reality that you could possibly imagine already exists within this moment? Hey, what's up? This is Juan from unconsciousmind.org, and my purpose is to make you realize that you don't have to believe every thought that comes to your mind so you can achieve true freedom. Now, I'm going to explain to you a step-by-step process on how to shift into a different reality and how to dissolve your current one so you can make the transition a lot smoother. But first, if you're interested in reprogramming your subconscious mind to create your dream life, make sure to check the links down below because I created a special tool that's gonna help you with that. Also, you can check my website and there's also the written version of this content, so make sure to check it out. And with that, let's get started. Now, in order to understand how the shifting happens, you need to understand where it happens first. There are three dimensions where the shifting happens: the physical dimension, the mental dimension, and the timeless dimension. Now, as you may know from previous videos, everything in the universe is vibrating. Everything is a vibrational frequency. If you don't know about it, make sure to watch this video. But everything in the universe is vibrating. Even matter, even this camera or your body and my body. The only difference is that as it is vibrating at a much lower frequency, it gives us the impression that it's a solid thing, but it's actually vibrating. Now, due to the nature of the vibrational frequency of things, of solid things, matter takes time to be shaped in a certain way. And this is why you'll be disappointed if you believe that you're going to instantly shift into a different physical reality, because it won't happen like that. Matter takes time. That's the catch with this dimension. Our physical world takes time to shape things in a certain way. Now, there is a different dimension where the shifting happens faster, which is the mental dimension or dimension of light. Light, as it is vibrating and traveling at a much higher frequency, things occur in a different way. But why? Well, due to the high speed that light is moving, it interacts with matter in a different way. It doesn't get affected by matter. And this is why the shifting occurs faster, because it is moving at a much higher frequency. And as you know it, our mind, every time we think, a bunch of synapses occurs inside our brain, meaning those synapses are literally light. They're electricity inside our brain. Therefore, our brain travels and moves in the dimension of light. Okay, so I'm explaining all of this for you to understand that the shifting occurs faster in our mind than in our physical world. The shifting happens first in our minds, and then in time it is reflected in our physical world. Nevertheless, there is a dimension where the shifting occurs instantly, and this is the timeless dimension. When two particles are entangled, it doesn't matter how distant from one another they are. If one is affected, the other one is going to be affected instantly, meaning there is information in the universe traveling instantly. There is something that we don't know, and that's why I call it the timeless dimension, because we don't know where that information is traveling and why it travels instantly. And this unknown dimension is where all the possibilities that you could possibly imagine already exist. It's the source of infinite creativity. It is pure awareness, pure potential. It can be measured, it can be seen, and yet everybody knows that somehow it is there. And that's where the shifting happens first. And that's what you are in the purest essence. Beyond your body, beyond your mind, there is that pure awareness, pure potential. You are aware, and then comes your mind, and then follows your body. So this infinite potential of creativity resides inside of you and inside every one of us. And it is through that awareness that comes the power of choice and decision, which eventually unfolds into a physical reality. Think of that awareness as a person who uses glasses or different glasses to see different realities. Now, the mind is the lens through which the person sees that reality. The lens, the mind, is not the seer. The seer is the awareness that you are. But the lens, your mind, is the tool through which you can shape and you can perceive and you can create in this physical reality. And the seer, the awareness, you decide which lens you want to use and therefore which reality you want to live or perceive. All you have to do is become aware, change the lens, and you will see a different reality in your life. Okay, so now that we understand this, I'm going to explain to you how to dissolve your current reality so you can make the shift into a different reality. What you have to do in order to dissolve your current reality is to take away the meaning that your mind has attributed to it. Let me explain this. When we put our attention into something, our mind can attribute only 3 properties: a positive tag, a negative tag, or a neutral one, which means that there is no opinion about it. Meaning, if we live in a positive reality, we wouldn't even want to change it because we would be okay with it, we would be happy with it. However, if you're trying to change your reality, it's because your mind has attributed a negative meaning to it, meaning you are experiencing something that you don't want. And this is why the negative meaning our mind puts into things, it's so important because it is the fuel that drives us to change. All desires come from a place of lack, because if we would already have it, we wouldn't even want it, right? So, to dissolve your current reality, all you have to do is to take away all the meaning your mind attributed to a specific situation, meaning you have to see it from a neutral perspective. Look, things are neither bad nor good. Good or bad, it's just a tag that our mind has put into things to try to understand things. But things at their core are just neutral. They just are. Things don't have meaning. Meanings are put through our minds. So all you have to do is to become aware of that. For example, I'm going to give you a specific exercise you can practice in order to see things from a neutral perspective. Thanksgiving Day, think about it, could be a good and beautiful thing for Americans. However, it's like the worst day on earth to be alive for a turkey. So, what is good for Americans is terrible for turkeys. To say that something is good or not always comes from a limited perspective. So things are neither good nor bad. They are just neutral. And all we have to do is learn to see that. So try to put yourself in the shoes of somebody else to see how a good or bad situation that you could consider could be the entire opposite of it for a different person, from a different perspective. And that's what you have to do to dissolve your current reality. Just realize that it isn't bad nor good. It's just neutral. Take away the meaning that your mind has put onto it. And that, my friend, is the first step to shift into a different reality. First off, you have to neutralize it. Meaning, take away all the meaning that your mind has put onto it, a specific situation, and neutralize it. Realize that it has no meaning at all. It is neither bad nor good. In that way, you will create space in which you can create a different reality and anything you want. The second step is to use your desire to know exactly what you want. You have to be clear about what you truly want to get in life and make sure it comes from a place of enjoyment instead of lacking. For example, if you want to be a famous musician, make sure that you are trying to get that only because you enjoy the profession and not because you don't want to be poor and that's the only thing that you think that you can do. Okay? So when you try to create something, make sure it comes from a place of enjoyment because you enjoy things and not because you're trying to run away from something. That way, love, it's what's gonna drive you towards your goal instead of fear. And as you know it, and as I know that you may have experienced, love is the most powerful force in the universe. Coming from that place of love, it's what's gonna make you keep moving forward towards your goal. In the physical world, at least. Now, third step, focus on the things that you can do instead of the things that you don't want. I remember a few years ago when I was living in Colombia and I was working in a call center. By the time, my goal was to achieve the bonuses at the end of the month, as they would help me to achieve my goal, which was to come to Spain and live here, which is where I currently live. The first month, I couldn't make those bonuses, and obviously, I was very frustrated. Then, I spent the subsequent month fearing to keep failing, and all of my actions were based on trying to avoid the things that I didn't want. My whole attention was placed on trying to avoid that pain of not reaching the goal at the end of the month. But as my main focus was placed on that was what kept manifesting in my life. However, one day I just simply decided to focus on doing my work the best I could, day by day, hour by hour, just living in the present, going one step at a time. So I stopped focusing on my goal and I started to focus on doing the things that I was doing the best I could. And then, in time, without even noticing it, I started to feel happier. And subsequently after that, without even expecting it, not only did I make the biggest bonuses that the company had ever seen at that time, but I also got promoted and I started to make a lot of money, more than I even wanted in the first place. But all of this happened when I shifted my focus from the things that I didn't want to the things that I could do at the moment to achieve my goals. So this is it. Remember, your mind is a tool through which you can shape the world, but it is useless if you don't know where to put your attention. Okay, so that's the key, to shift into a different reality. And remember, time won't happen physically instantly. It takes time. But before the physical reality changes in time, the shifting needs to happen in your mind. And before that, in your awareness. So, become aware. And then, choose what you want to see in the world. And in time, it will be reflected in your life. Also, remember that you can check out my website, which is unconsciousmind.org. I'll leave the link to this article. The article is going to be explained in much detail, more than this video. And see you on the next one. And remember to watch this video or subscribe.